It's Testimony Tuesday.
Hello, Penticton Vineyard family friends. Mike here. Mary's here as well. We have a story, Testimony Tuesday, what God's doing right now in Mary's life and in family. And so let's hear, what's God doing?
Well, I want to share today a little bit about what has God been doing in our lives in the last 4 years.
Wow.
4 years ago, John and I joined an organization called SOWERS.
Okay.
SOWERS.
Yeah.
SOWERS, Servants on Wheels Ever
Oh,
Ready.
yeah. Nice.
A senior group have to be Christians, born-again Christians, in order to join this organization from the States.
Okay.
John and I had heard about it, and we felt God calling us to be part of that organization.
Okay.
So Canada has, I think right now, 5 different areas, different Bible camps where you can serve in.
Okay.
One is at Stillwood in Chilliwack.
Yeah.
And so we actually had applied to this organization and signed up before we even were accepted. And
Nice.
so we were accepted, I believe, on a Tuesday, and that Friday we drove then to Chilliwack to Stillwood. And we had a small trailer. You have to bring your own RV to camp in. So we had a small trailer that we pulled with our car. And as we were driving down the connector and the coke, we had problems because it was too heavy, for us to pull it with the car. Anyways, we got to the camp, and while we were driving, I mentioned to John, we should get a motorhome. Like, he was so against motorhomes and all that. While we were camping there, he all of a sudden said we should go and look at a motorhome, which we went to this motorhome place in Abbotsford to look at. And when we inquired about a used motorhome, we were told that they were sold out. Everything was sold.
Okay.
And so, we had prayed about it. And then the salesman said, well, I'll just go and look at the piece of paper from this morning. So he looked and he said, that's odd because we're not supposed to have any. But here was this motorhome.
Wow, okay,
and then he phoned his boss, the owner of the company, and he said, no, we don't have any motorhomes for sale. So anyway, the salesman took us
one here.
into the parking lot, and right in the center of the parking lot was this motorhome sitting all by itself.
Okay.
It was like God had just placed it there.
Yeah.
So he showed it to us, and we walked through it, and he had seen our sign SOWER, and he said, are you Christians? And we said, yes. And so then we explained to him what we were looking. He says, I believe God brought this motorhome in without us knowing for you guys.
It's a different way to sell a motorhome, but that's awesome.
Yeah, well anyway, and we traded in our trailer then and bought the motorhome.
Yeah.
So then we came home after 3 weeks of service and just changed equipment or things in there, and then we drove to Nestle Bible Camp in Prince George for 6 weeks and worked there then in Prince George.
Oh, yeah.
So after that we came home, and that winter then we went to Palm Springs in California to serve there. And so we just really used the motorhome and just loved it, how God was leading and everything. So then we then didn't do that during this 2019 any other projects until December of 2019. We went to Arizona. We worked at a camp where retired pastors or burnt out pastors would come. So we worked there for 3 weeks and then went to a camp that we stayed at in California, and then we drove home last year in February.
Okay.
So anyway, we came home, and then in April I had a small stroke at the end of April last year. And John fell at the end of July and broke his hip, had to have hip surgery.
Yeah.
So that was hard. And then in November, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia.
Mm-hmm.
And so that has been very hard on him and on both of us.
Mm-hmm.
And he was told that he was not allowed to drive any longer. So he lost his driving privileges. And so here we were having this big motorhome, and we knew we would have to sell it.
Yeah.
So about 2.5 weeks ago, our grandson helped us place it on Marketplace. And we had right away people contacting us, wanted to look at. So 3 couples came to look at the motorhome.
Okay.
But before our grandson placed it on there, I had said to the Lord, would you sell our motorhome? And could you sell it by March 31st? If you do, my niece at the coast is dying of lung cancer, and she is so in need of finances. And I had said to the Lord, if you will sell the motorhome, we will pay off our loan that we have on it. Whatever is left, 10% of that, we will take and give for our niece for the financial expenses or for her funeral, whatever the case would be.
Wow.
So anyway, we had two different couples coming and looking at it, and it didn't sell. So the 31st of March in the morning, we got a message from a gentleman. They wanted to come and look at it. So then they came at 4:30 in the afternoon and looked at it for an hour, and then they said they would contact us. And then we had supper, and after supper they contacted us and said we would like to buy it.
On the 31st.
On the 31st, I mean, it was just so amazing.
Wow.
God, it's just such a miracle, you know. And it was just a matter of, Lord, you know, whatever you say, we want to do. And so I promised the Lord, I said to the Lord, whatever you're doing with this as you're selling it, I want to share of your goodness, of your love for us, of the caring, you know. And I just thought, you know, people needed to hear that. It's not that we're anything special or anything. God cares for all of us so uniquely in every little detail and big detail. You know?
And he just hears the prayers and the cries of selling vehicles, and needing vehicles, and needing help, and God's for us in the midst of this.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so
that's exciting. I love how God put this date around it. It's God, this is the one. You know, bit of a fleece moment there.
It was exactly. It was, you know, putting out the fleece and saying, Lord, we need you.
Yeah.
And you know, can't do this anymore, and and needing help for the future also with John and everything. And so I just want to thank everybody for praying for us and caring for us and loving us. So, and we are so thankful to be part of this family, of the Vineyard family. And so, anyways, that's what.
That's very cool. I just thought of this. Like, God just brought this into your life for this time in this season to do what He had, and He goes, "Hey, and then I have something else for you in the next season." And it's just so cool to be able to look back and how God leads you in different ways, and God's with you. He's walking with you in challenges and hardship.
Yeah, He is.
Thank you so much for sharing. This is so
welcome.
cool. It's so great. If you need to sell a vehicle, talk to Mary. No, bless you, church. We are in this together, and we will see you soon. Take care.
Goodbye.